kind of a similar plan as the last back-to-back that started and stuff?
I'm sorry?
Like a similar plan for the back-to-back?
As far as?
Like with the starters or veterans, like play on probably best tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow? We will make determinations after tonight's game. We'll see where everybody is, physically after tonight's game, and then make that decision. He's somebody that size to be that skilled. It's really impressive. He handles the ball like a guard and makes plays, but he's huge out there. And so really, really talented prospect, and be fun to watch him develop.
Just over a season and a half, how would you evaluate the job Jamal's done here with this team?
Well, I'm a little biased because I love Jamal, and we spent some time together with USA Basketball last summer. And I have to admit, I don't watch the Magic a ton, just because we only see them twice a year and they're in the other conference. But I think the world of Jamal. I think he is great communicator, wonderful human being. He's been in the game for a long time. He's got a lot of knowledge. So I'm thrilled that he's getting this opportunity with, a young team, so they can grow together. And I know last year we came in here and got our butts whipped, and I'm hoping that doesn't happen this year. But happy for Jamal and his opportunity, and I think he's going to be great.
Just a really basketball question, but I'm just curious on what your thoughts are about Kyrie Irving.
About Kyrie
Irving, that is social media posts and promoting the movie that.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit that one out.
What have you seen from Bol so far this year? Is it just a matter of him getting an opportunity, in your opinion, or the things that he's tangibly improved on?
Well, he looks confident. I mean, just watching them on tape the last couple of days, the way he's handling the ball in transition, going, around the back through his legs like it's nothing for a guy that size is pretty remarkable. And he seems to be doing well defensively. I've watched him come over from the weak side and block shots, and learning to use that size and length. But this is a massive team. Might be the biggest team I've ever seen. The way they're playing right now, especially. He poses a big threat out there at both ends, just given his skill set and his size.
Coach, I know you never played with his dad, Newt. Jeff doesn't have any stories he can share, but do you have any stories from Newt when you played against him? I just remember really enjoying speaking with him. He was just an interesting guy, just his story, how he made it to the NBA, and talking to him about, I remember speaking with him after a game in Cleveland one year, and I think I had made a donation to his charity for his, I think he was building a hospital in his hometown, and we talked about that, and it was just an incredible story to think that, this guy had made it, to the league, and then was doing so much good. He was just a really kind soul. Everybody who knew him loved him. I didn't know him very well, but just the few times I talked to him, always had a huge smile on his face, and Warriors fans loved him. He had some memorable times with Nelly and the Warriors, but he was extremely well liked across the league, unlike Jeff Turner. It's fair. It's fair to him.
I just want to ask, maybe more broadly, just the importance of a progressive league like the NBA to stand against just whether it's anti-Semitism, racism, whatever it is, this discriminatory language and action promotion of ideology.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's fair.
I was going to try to sit it out, but it's a fair question. It's a big question. I read David Aldridge's column yesterday in The Athletic, and I thought it was fantastic. Words matter. Words really, really matter. And in modern society with social media, the way things can sort of just fan across the globe exponentially and get 5 million hits immediately. Every comment matters. Everything you say matters. And so I agree with David. I thought that column was brilliant. We have to be more vigilant as a society. We can't be just accepting comments that are so destructive and insulting to people. And it's crucial that everybody, whether you're a professional athlete or not, it's crucial that everybody, think before they just throw stuff out there that can be so damaging.
For developing some of the younger guys over the past couple of years, what have you learned about having that balance of letting them play through mistakes, but also, hey, you need to come to the bench and sit next to the coaches to learn what you did wrong. You can't, in the sense of like, you need to talk to somebody, one of the coaches, to actually learn through it, not actually complain.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. We've got several young guys on our team right now who are going through that development stage. What I've found is each person is very different. And as a coach, it's important to get to know that person and understand how he is going to respond, and then learn how to communicate with that player. Every player is at a different stage from one another. So some guys are further along than others. Your team will be in a certain state. You have to gauge where your team is in terms of, young guys playing, young guys not playing. So every coach has to determine his own set of circumstances with his group, and then the individual set of circumstances with each player, and try to accomplish all of that. And, at once, try to help the team improve and win, and help each individual guy get better and better as he goes.
When you go into where like a team is at, given the state of the team, how hard is that, or what is the challenge with that, taking a fair evaluation of a player if there are significant injuries to, key role players in that sense?
So I'm sorry, say that again.
Like 2019-20, Steph and Clay were both injured. You were able to get an evaluation of Jordan Poole. How accurate of an assessment were you able to get in that time when you had?
When you have injuries, yeah.
Have injuries in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of basketball, is it takes 5 guys and they have to be in concert. But I think even in a season like that, when we had the worst record in the league, we could see certain characteristics in Jordan, his work ethic mainly, where it was like you could see, this possibly happening. He struggled desperately that year, but he got in the gym and he worked. And so you could see as a human being, like, this is a guy you'd bet on. You didn't know if the work and everything would translate, but it has. And so I think that's something you can gauge even in a season with a lot of injuries. You can really get to know someone's personality and their character, and whether you want to bet on them or not.
As going through the process of developing so many young guys at the same time, giving you maybe a better appreciation for, I guess, the coaching job that Jamal has to do when like 90% of the roster is 25 and younger?
It's so hard. We're in the league now. We are doing the work that 20 years ago all the college coaches were doing, and back then it was, the scouts could watch a guy for 3 years. I always talk about Tim Duncan and David Robinson, being a former teammate of theirs. They each had 4 years of college. I mean, there's a reason they were great right when they got there. It's because their freshman years, they weren't that great. And their sophomore years, they started getting better, but they spent 4 years learning how to play, growing up, maturing, learning their bodies, gaining confidence, because, instead of trying to go up against the Knicks and Patrick Ewing, you're going up against Canisius. So nothing against Canisius, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just Wichita State. No. But you get my point. Like, if you get a guy in college for 3 or 4 years and he's playing against competition where he can thrive as his skills grow, as he grows, then you arrive to the league ready. And so what's changed is we are now doing the work that the college coaches were doing back then, but you don't have the advantage of allowing a guy's confidence to grow by playing against inferior competition for a number of years and building that confidence and building that skill set. You're throwing him right into the deep end. And so it is sink or swim for a lot of these guys. And I don't blame anybody for taking the money. It's a lot of money. And, if a guy doesn't come out and gets injured and he's thrown $10, $15 million away, how do you reconcile that? So it's a really difficult situation, but I would just say that for the league now and for these players who are coming in, it's not at all, not even close to an ideal setup for success.
You guys are near like the bottom of the league. I think like points at the rim or shots at the rim. Are you feeling that like offensively? Right
Yeah.
now? Your lack of
Yeah.
points at the rim.
You don't mind, I'll just turn back and answer your question. We're not getting a ton of penetration. We need to drive the ball more for sure. I think we've got to attack more, get the ball into the paint. Doesn't even mean we have to finish it at the rim. But we've got to, I think we're launching a lot of 3-pointers that are not exactly bending the defense first. So I saw a lot of good signs the other day in Miami. We competed. We moved the ball, and I thought we got better. So hopefully that shows up tonight.
Coach, I'm back this way too. You talked about these young 18-year-old guys coming into the league after maybe a year of college. How do things like AAU, EVA U17, G League Unite, how do those things play into scouting for you guys?
It's really, it's more of a question for our front office, for Bob Myers. They're the ones who evaluate all these guys. I think the G League has been a great dynamic for the NBA, a great development tool. And we're still obviously, learning the best ways to use the G League and to develop players. But I think that's been a big boost. Before that, everything before that, it's really tough to evaluate. I don't think a lot of our scouts are out watching AAU games, but they may have to start doing that if the rules change. So who knows?
Great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate that. Great.